People keep saying they're confused. They say they don't know what they want. They say they feel stuck, lost, uncertain. But confusion isn't what this looks like. Confusion is noisy. It pulls you in different directions. It creates friction. This doesn't. This feels quiet, organized, predictable. You wake up and you already know the shape of the day. You know the rules. You know what's allowed. You know which thoughts are acceptable and which ones should stay private. That's not confusion. That's containment. Confusion disrupts your routine. This preserves it. And the fact that your life keeps functioning is the reason no one questions what's missing from it. When people say they don't know what they want, what they often mean is something else. They mean they know exactly what they want, and they're not ready to accept what it would cost them. Knowing creates responsibility. Responsibility forces alignment, and alignment would require you to admit that the life you're living is no longer aligned with who you are. So instead, you choose uncertainty, not consciously, not maliciously. You choose it the way people choose painkillers, to dull something sharp enough to demand action. Saying, "I don't know," buys you time. It sounds honest. It sounds reasonable. It doesn't threaten the structure of your life. Confusion becomes a socially acceptable pause, a neutral explanation, a way to stay still without looking like you're avoiding anything. Clarity is dangerous, not because it's overwhelming, but because it removes excuses. Once something becomes clear, you can't pretend you're unaware of it. And once you're aware, every day you stay becomes a choice. Systems can be blamed. People can be blamed. Circumstances can be blamed. Choices cannot. So your mind does something precise. It keeps things almost clear. Clear enough to feel the discomfort. Unclear enough to delay action. That's not weakness. That's intelligence serving survival. Familiar discomfort feels safer than unfamiliar freedom. You know how to operate here. You know how to perform. You know how to endure. You've learned how to function without asking too many questions. How to smile at the right moments. How to appear stable. Stability becomes the currency. Not happiness. Not meaning. Not fulfillment. Just the ability to keep going without disruption. And the longer you stay, the more staying feels justified. Delay is often mistaken for indecision. It isn't. Delay is an active strategy. You're not refusing change. You're negotiating it. After this phase, after this responsibility, after this obligation. Delay lets you believe you're still in control while nothing actually changes. It's not paralysis. It's preservation. Pain would be simpler. Pain would create urgency. Pain would demand reaction. But numbness doesn't. Numbness lets you function. It lets you smile. It lets you explain your life convincingly to others. Numbness doesn't interrupt routines. It just slowly replaces meaning. And because nothing is wrong enough, nothing changes. This is why people don't leave. Not because they can't, but because nothing hurts enough to justify it. At some point, you began negotiating with yourself. How much dissatisfaction is acceptable? How much silence is manageable? How much of yourself you can put away and still call this a life? You never finished that negotiation. You just kept renewing it, until staying became automatic, until the question stopped being, "Why am I here?" and became, "Why would I leave?" You're not confused. You're not trapped. You're protected. Protected from the kind of clarity that would force you to act. And the most effective protection is the one you mistake for reason.